Hey everyone, and welcome back to Timeless. Today we're going to run it back with energy and try hard in some ranked games. A couple people have asked me what my favorite energy build right now is, and this one, the Mardu one, is still my favorite. When people ask me what they should play, I say it's kind of personal preference between this and the Boros Phage version that runs Blood Moon, though I've been leaning towards this one lately. I haven't made too many changes to the deck recently, but I will highlight the few changes that I did make. A couple people suggested that 4 Nightmare is perhaps too much because it is really clunky when you draw it in multiples, even though it's the best card in the deck. And I do agree, so I decided to split the 4 copies, 3 Nightmares and 1 Goblin Bombardment. Goblin Bombardment is a really sweet card, and I've already had some success with it. It's very good alongside a Johnny. It's a way to flip him and a red permanent for his ability, which is awesome. I switched out my main deck removal. I used to have Lightning Bolt in this slot, but now I have Swords to Plowshares. Swords to Plowshares answers a couple of problematic permanents that Blood Moon, or excuse me, that Lightning Bolt cannot answer. Namely, Sun Cleanser out of the sideboard is a real stinker for this deck, and this can answer it when Lightning Bolt cannot. This can also answer a Fleech and any other large creature that has more than 3 toughness, a lot more cleanly. And then onto the sideboard, I believe this is more or less the same as last time we ran it back. We've got the Deafening Silence and Thought Seizes for the unfair matchups, Pithing Needles and Disruptor Flutes for when those are relevant, Sun Cleanser for the mirror, Hearse for graveyard hate, and 1 Prismatic Ending for just a little bit more removal generally for the mirror matches or for other Lurrus decks. Other than that, let's run it back. Let's win some games. Alright. Game 1, we are going to on the play against Urza. Unfortunately, this is not keepable due to mana. We'll ship this right back. This is a much better 6, though. We can put the extra monkey back. And we get the classic Funny Monkey on the play. And we can go ahead and start with a red-black mana source, since that's the color cards we have in our hand. Our opponent, I think they kept 7, or perhaps they're still mulliganing, I'm not sure. They're not presenting a companion, so I do have no idea what we're playing against exactly. Okay, they went down to 6 as well. So nice and even on the card advantage. Let's start with a Maragavan and see if they can deal with the Funny Monkey. Okay, this could mean that we're playing against a Belcher Oops All Spells deck, or this could just be Scam and they're playing Malakir Rebirth. Either way, let's hit them with a Funny Monkey and find out. Fatal Push. Okay. It's probably Scam then. Belcher doesn't play too many removal spells. Yeah, it's really funny. We also have a Funny Monkey on bottom of our deck. I guess we fetched. Funny that all 3 monkeys showed up. I'm down to 3 copies instead of 4, but I made that change a while ago. I think here we want to play the Amped Raptor at sorcery speed. Do I care about this treasure? Not in particular. I kind of do care about it. Yeah, let's go ahead and fetch here. We can use this to cast 3 mana worth of spells next turn, perhaps even more, if our Ragavan gets to connect again. Let's get white mana while we can. I do try to fetch as much black mana as possible when I have a Nightmare in my hand, because that enables me to activate it and play it as many times as possible in 1 turn cycle. Ooh, a Nightmare. It's good. There's nothing in the graveyard yet, but as things die, we start Nightmare looping. Opponent is Dark Ritualing. And again, okay, so maybe they are a Charbelcher gamer. Let's see it. Okay, nope, it's Scam. We are getting griefed. Masters is probably the most valuable card in my hand here. But Funny Monkey is also very dangerous to them, so maybe they want the second one. Yeah, so they're gonna like trade with Ragavan here. And then they don't want me playing a second. I will probably reanimate my Ragavan with Nightmare then. Oh, paying life, huh? Alright, we're paying life out here in these streets. Let's go ahead and attack them for 2. I think we're very much still on the beatdown in this game. And then since they're so afraid of my Funny Monkey, we're going to buy it back with the Chthonian Nightmare. Our opponent looks like they kept a very like all-in draw where they're like really in on, you know, this turn one grief and being able to dismember. What concerns me a lot is that they're getting priority right here, which means they might have a surgical extraction to get rid of my monkey. And they're probably going to do it in response to me doing Chthonian Nightmare. Or maybe they, well, actually, they're getting priority for blocks, right? So it doesn't matter if they have an instant. This is an obvious no block. So when I play this at sorcery speed, does my opponent get priority? No. Okay, so they don't have a surgical. I thought they did. You can read the arena client like that pretty easily. And then the question is, do we want to put this Bowmasters into the bin so that we can bring it back with Nightmare? And I think the answer is no. We are not at the point of the game where we want to be Nightmare looping like crazy. We just want as much pressure on the board as possible. One of their outs could be drawing cards with like a one ring, and we want this Bowmasters to shut that down and stop that funny business before it goes. Alright, Deathrite Shaman, that's a good blocker from a monkey. And I can take a look. Take their favorite card. Okay, they go to 6. They're going to attack me. Okay, that's a little loose. I'm going to go ahead and attack them here. I am sure they're going to block my Ragavan. And then take 3. This isn't looking too great for them. It's a pretty straightforward decision for us. The real decision points come after combat. Depends on whether or not Ragavan hits them and what they decide to, or what we hit with the Ragavan. Okay. Sure. Okay, so they're probably playing like the Sorin version. Sure. Bowmasters, we're gonna go ahead and ping that Deathrite Shaman boy to death. Actually, since there's a Bowmasters in our bin, we just get lethal. This is what I was talking about when I said some Bowmasters. Sack Bowmasters, bring back a Bowmasters. Now for every 2 mana, we get to ping something. Cool. Okay, so against Scam Gaming. Scam Sorin Gaming. Probably the Needle and the Flute for Sorin is pretty sweet. Source Blasters is nice. None of the versions of the deck I would think about cutting the bolts. The Funny Monkey scares them. They are maybe playing Bowmasters, but I'm happy to get on the beats with Monkey. In fact, I think I'm supposed to cut like the slower parts of the deck, like Amulet here, because this is a matchup where we're gonna beat them down. And they're not gonna have a mass board wipe probably. They could have a Fury. I only saw black cards. I'm gonna assume no Fury until proven otherwise. And maybe we also just run one Thoughtseize. Take a look at that hand. Alright, look at that Funny Monkey on the play, and we get a removal spell for a creature they cheat into play, and we get to Needle Sorin. That's pretty good. Now, if they have turn 1 Dark Ritual Sorin put in a creature, it's a little sus. Then it gets sus, boys. We'll put them on not having the nuts. It's hard to do anything when they have that when you're on the draw. Uh-oh. It's here. Oh, nope. It's just Reanimate Troll. That is a lot more beatable. Okay, that's fine. In fact, I'm actually not even going to kill this troll yet. I'm going to go ahead and get a red source for Ragavan. We're going to get red-black because we have this basic plains in our hand. And then we're just going to present the Ragavan. Next turn, I'm planning on using my Static Prison, get this out of the way, and then probably Needling Sorin. Yep, Bowmasters, makes sense. Ooh, another funny boy. I would like to keep it safe here and Needle Sorin, because they could have 3 mana and just play him. So let's just play Sorin Imperious Bloodlord here. Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord. So now they can't cheat a vampire into play, and we just need to find some sort of an answer to this Bowmasters in the top few cards, which shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, more Bowmasters. That's going to put the pressure on, so we got to find something here. Oof. And Ragavan definitely showing the downside in this matchup. Maybe we should have cut the card. Alright. Our opponent is absolutely putting the beats on. This is tough. We need something good to show up here. In fact, actually, if we fetch, we're dead. So I think we're donezo. And yeah, we're done here. A bit unfortunate. So perhaps the Ragavans should get cut against this deck, though it's much better on the play. I don't think we need these grindy amulets. I think that was the correct call. I think this configuration is fine. Just should be on the play here, and we'll hopefully do a lot better when we're on the play. All right. We are going to be on the play at game 3. We have a very good draw with Guide of Souls into our choice of Amped Raptor or Ocelot Pride. We don't have sideboard cards, but hopefully we can swarm and overwhelm them. If they're just cheating in a big stupid vampire, then I think a swarm of kitty cats can take it down. See what happens, though. All right, let's start it out with a Sacred Foundry and 2 Guided Souls. Alright, we are going to get griefed, but thankfully our deck is very resilient to being discarded. So we should be fine here. I take my bombardment. Okay, sweet. So even if they scam it, we get a follow-up creature for our Guide of Souls. That's nice. Okay, we get the kitty cat. Ooh, and we're gonna get sack fodder. Oh boy, I'm excited. It's a good draw. Alright, so hopefully we don't get discarded again. If we don't, I think we win this game pretty easily. Then we could just get bringing things back, sack looping things if appropriate. We also get a nice Surveil off of our Surveil land here. Alright, goodbye Guide of Souls, but we can get him right back with the Nightmare. Oh, Surgical? Damn. Oh, wait, that's mine! Bitch, give it back. The hell, no stealing. Alright, let's see if our opponent attacks here, then we can go to our end step and get a little Surveil going on. Alright, Surveil Gaming. Okay, Butsies, don't need it when both decks are in top decking mode. This last card could just be a land. Okay, and then here we can go ahead and bring back a Raptor. That doesn't do much, does it? So I'm tempted to just put the Lurrus into my hand. Because if I Chthonian Nightmare, sack a kitty cat, bring back a Raptor, what does it do? Nothing. It essentially does nothing, right? I think the better play is just put Lurrus in my hand. And then we play for a long game here. Our opponent is not going to do a Degenerate Sorin thing. Our opponent is not beating us down. I think we can just sit, put our feet up. Uh-oh. DT. That means they get the best card in their deck, whatever it is. So what they got depends on what's in their hand, right? They could have had a vampire in their hand and gotten the Sorin. They could have just gotten their 3rd land drop. Lots of options. Ooh, what we can do now. Great option here. Johnny.
Fight beside me, brother.
Fight beside me, brother. We're going to sacrifice the little kitty cat to bring back the Amped Raptor. We're going to transform. Add a little energy, make a kitty cat. I'm going to kill my Guide of Souls just so I can get it back next turn. We're going to bring it back with Nightmare. And then pass the turn. So our opponent had the chance to get whatever the hell they want. They decided maybe they wanted a Thoughtseize. So here we are, getting Thoughtseize. They could take my Lurrus, but Lurrus can come back with Nightmare, so I don't particularly mind that. And they take out my kitty cat. It's not looking great for opponent, though, I would say. Alright, so can I just kill them here? I can, okay. Let's not dilly-dally then. Alright, sweet. Rakdos scam getting taken down, game 1. Alright, game 2. We are on the play, and it is a Lurrus mirror. We got a one-lander. Is this a one-lander I want to keep? Maybe. On the play with double kitty cat? Oh, that's very tempting. I think we'll go ahead and keep it. If we draw any amount of lands, this hand becomes absolutely busted. If not, we still are going to be presenting the white Ragavan, as they call him, backed up by removal. Seems good to me. Let's go ahead and fetch red-white here. We're getting a red-white because we have other red 1-drops in the deck. We don't have black 1-drops. So we would, by definition, have to draw a second land to play a black 2-drop. Alright, and hopefully the second land does show up pretty soon. If it does, then it's pretty much the nut draw. Well, not quite the nut draw from my deck. The nut draw would involve Guide of Souls. It would be a very strong Ajani draw, especially against a Monastery Swift Spear gamer. Alright, we are against Rakdos Burn. Oh wow, they didn't attack? Color me surprised, huh? I will present another kitty cat, meow. And my plan is next turn to attack with both and use Static Prison to clear whatever blocker my opponent puts up. My opponent is like fine to not attack and they're the one on the burn deck that should be on the beatdown, and I'm happy for that. Okay. That's a little tough. The opponent's still not attacking for whatever reason. So do I just play a Ragavan? They had a free attack 2 turns with the Sphere, and I'm not sure why they're not taking it. I guess it's just because they really fear my 1-drops. But like I said before, second land does have to show up. Static Prison is not the best card for cleanly answering like a Bowmaster. I would like to get all the blockers out of the way. Searing Blood, my kitty cat, you got it. Alright, so now they should probably get attacking, I would think. They're taking a look at my top. I'd love to know if it's a land or not. Alright, it is. Cool. So we get to play either Amped Raptor or a Johnny. I think I am quite interested. It sucks to shock there against Burn, by the way. I think I'm interested in Amped Raptor because any hit is good. If I hit a removal spell, it's amazing. If I hit a Guide of Souls, I'm over the moon. No, I hit another Ragavan. You're kidding me. Oh no, the only bad hit in the deck. Oh well. Ajani would have also been a pretty good play because it would be very difficult for them to attack into it with their red deck. But they probably would have a removal spell for Ajani anyway. Yeah, and it looks like they'll have a removal spell. Ooh, nope, they will have a bump. Things go bump in the night. And light them up. Alright, we will trade our 2 creatures for one of the Swifties. Then here we are definitely getting beat down.
To the hunt.
Alright, well, the good news is that we are a Guide of Souls deck against Burn, so it should go well for us. We're going to take out some of those grindy elements. We're going to take out the Amulets again, actually. Even though Amulet is such a sweet card in my deck. We're going to want the Sun Cleanser. Or no, not the Sun Cleanser. We're going to want the Pending. And, you know, now that I think about it, what cards do we really have for Burn? We don't have too much. We main deck all of our removal. Sun Cleanser isn't quite useful. I think we do just run it back with the Amulets. And then we're just careful with our mulligan decisions. We mind our mulligans. We keep hands that aren't painful. We keep hands that gain us life. We keep hands that have removal. We don't keep hands that are full of clunky 2-drops. We do not keep 1-landers. So we're on the play. We have removal. We have Amped Raptor, my boy. Yeah. Alright, and then I will go ahead and play Arid Reza and pass. Turn 1 Swift Spear, I will Plowshares. Anything else? I think we let it go. Alright, let's take our Surveil here. Let's go ahead and get a red-white land over here. Actually, let's get black-red, because we have the Nightmare in our hand. Don't think we need 4th land too quick. Or 4th land? Yeah, 4th land. I did count correctly. I thought I couldn't do math for a second. And then I would love to have access to Plowshares. Let's go ahead and play this. And probably just Surveil again. If we need to, we can go ahead and shock in to Swords to Plowshares like a Swift Spear. Wait, bolt me, you got it. Okay. Yeah, I'm content to just stare at them if they're content to stare at me. I do want to find my Guide of Souls eventually. There he is. Right, this guy probably eats a removal spell, but we have Nightmare to get him back. And then I'll go ahead and curve out this Amped Raptor. We might hit a removal spell here, which would be a bit of a downside. But I do want to start gaining life with the Guide of Souls. I would love to loop this guy to Bombardment if possible. Or not to Bombardment, to Nightmare. Sacking to Bombardment is, of course, also an option. Another Amped Raptor? Lovely. The Reckoner raid is coming through. And our opponent draws some cards. Alright, and we might just play out the Swift Spear for mana efficiency. Sure. Okay, so, ooh, we got options. We could Swords the Swifty. We can get back Guide of Souls. We can also play Ocelot Pride here. I think actually we should pay the life to do it all. We're going to want to do it in this particular order. You're going to want to make sure Arena Auto Tapper doesn't screw us out of being able to cast both of our white spells. So we're going to start Chthonian Nightmare. Get the Guide of Souls back. Our opponent is tapped out, so there's no risk to Guide of Souls dying here. You go back to the graveyard. I play you. I gain life. And then at sorcery speed, we're going to take out the Swift Spear to minimize the amount of life that they gain. And to make sure that they don't get, I don't know, some sort of trigger that matters to them. And we're going to get on the beat down here, use our extra energy. We're going to generate a lot of extra energy with this Nightmare, so we don't have to worry about spending it. Our opponent will be drawing 2 more cards, and that is a Searing Blood, probably to hit the Guide of Souls or the Ocelot Pride, but we'll get it right back. Yep, there goes my Guide of Souls, as predicted. Yep, there goes the kitty cat as well. Okay. Let's start by probably getting Guide of Souls back. Get Guide of Souls back, go to combat. I want to get the kitty cat back too, because it's going to give me a lot of life. I'm trying to think about my ordering, right? Because I only have so many creatures to sack, and I don't have a creature that generates tokens immediately, like a Bowmasters. So we're gonna go to combat here. Believe it or not, I think we're gonna forego our 4/3 flyer here because I want to get my life gain engine going. So give me my kitty cat back. Or give me my Guide of Souls first. Sacrificing the kitty cat. The Guide of Souls. Chthonian Nightmare. We're gonna get rid of this Amped Raptor, and we're gonna get the kitty cat going again. Because this is a life gain engine, it also makes extra tokens in play for the Nightmare. I don't think there's a way for our opponent to deal us 12 here, so we can take our time. They do have this Barbarian Ring that's active, And this can deal 2 damage to any target, but that would require them to use 2 of their mana. Hard knock life out here when you're strained on mana. Looks like with them having a bunch of extra land, they probably should do that, unless they forget. Arena players can forget things. Arena players forgetting is always an out. Alright, ooh, Bowmasters, yeah. So let's go ahead and play the Nightmare. Okay. Oops, that's too much. Out of souls. They're gonna hit my kitty cat here, right? They don't. Go to combat. Let's attack with our kitty cat. So they can hit it with a Barbarian Ring. Okay, no, they don't realize that. Arena players forgetting is always an out, as I say. There we were fine, though, because we could flash in the Bowmasters, gain more life, come up the board, do it again next turn, blah, blah, blah. We were just looping and gaining enough life that I didn't have too much worry for that game. So we're going to be on the draw against Burn, so we need to be careful to keep a hand with removal in it. Or a hand that can defend itself, at least, by gaining some life. Alright, 1 Guide of Souls, please, in hand. All I ask for. We could take a Swords to Plowshares and a bunch of good 2-drops instead, right? I think so. The only awkward part is the Nano. We have a tap land here, so we might not actually get to play a 2-drop on turn 2. We're going to take out the Swift Spear immediately, though. This is the kind of card that will snowball. Do you want to discharge it, actually? Yeah, we can go ahead and discharge it. Then we have Swords up next turn for when they inevitably have 2 Swift Spears on the play. And then after that, we can just stabilize, play a bunch of 2-drops. Okay, nothing yet. That's good, but that could mean Bowmasters. 3rd land, we'll keep it. No Bowmasters? Okay, I like it. Is it just going to be slow light up the stage? It's going to be slow Lurrus. Okay. I think we play Najani. And we play our land tapped.
It's not perfect, but we have peace.
Nah, we're going to play it untapped. If they take their time to play Lurrus, I'm going to shoot Lurrus. If they take their time to shoot a Johnny, I might shoot my little cat token. I'll think about it. Depends on how much mana they have up. They are going to play a DRC. You got it. And then they're going to take their time to do that. So I'm going to attempt to defend my Ajani here. Do successfully defend my Ajani. Okay. Sweet. I didn't put them on having more cheap interaction because they didn't have it the previous turn. I should have let this Surveil trigger respond first, or resolve first, if we're being, like, super nitpicky and super spiky. I shouldn't have informed my opponent's Scry there. Ooh, this is good. So I was planning on swordsing this DRC, but now we could just kill it with the Ajani ability. We know they don't have interaction because they would have used it. So now we can take our time, we can play the Guide of Souls, we can play Amped Raptor, and then with Ajani 0, we'll have 3 creatures in play to hit this. Opponent does seem to have a response now, though, which is weird. What do you got? I don't know. They have, like... Why didn't they shoot a Johnny before? I'm so confused. Alright. Ooh, another Johnny? Let's go.
What a beautiful day, brother.
Guide of Souls wins once again. 0 ability. You're gonna hit my red permanent? Okay, sure. Yeah, they're gonna delve. You could have just prevented a Johnny from flipping, but whatever. We're here. We're here, we're Guide of Souls gaming, we're at 19 life against burn, so it's hard to be upset about our predicament. Mount Doom has hit the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen. Right, there's a Lurrus that we can answer. They get to loop Bauble. Maybe they can get Delirium here. That's only 1 type off. Get Delirium here, they do get to kill a Johnny, but if a Johnny dies, it's really not the end of our game. Yeah, shoot my Guide of Souls. Okay, so they get Delirium, but a couple things. First, we could just play Chthonian Nightmare and flip this at Johnny. Second, what I do want to do instead of that is kill their Lurrus. Okay, nice. And then we can play the basic Plains thing for that. You can gain 3 life. I don't mind. And we're on the beatdown now. Next turn we can play Nightmare, flip our Johnny. Nightmare can get Guide of Souls or the Raptor back. You might want to get the Raptor back just so that a Johnny 0 can close out the game really quick. Johnny was a critic apparently, and he has been skewered. Let's go to combat. And attack for a bunch. Honestly, let's just put Lurrus in our hand. We don't need to get cute with Nightmare. Removal spell? You got it. We have lethal on board. We really don't need to get cute looping Nightmare. Okay, let's go to combat. See if this is lethal. If not, we'll do something with Nightmare. They have their own Bowmasters, that's totally fine. That means we can recur our own Bowmasters if they decide to kill it in combat. We also do only have 1 black source here. So instead of doing a Nightmare loop, I think I might just play Lurrus. Play Lurrus. Replay like a Johnny from the graveyard. And then, once again, we have lethal. That's fine, we still have 5 points of power on board.
I will prove my worth to my pride.
Alright, well, let's go to combat again. Okay. Alright, I will play a Chthonian Nightmare. I will attempt to flip my Johnny. Bringing back an Amped Raptor. Oh, right, sweet. Alright. We are going to be on the draw against Cascus. We don't see a companion or anything. We don't have anything to inform this mulligan, but what I do see is a removal spell, a really strong card, an Amp Raptor, and 2 Ajanis that can help each other out. Seems pretty good to me. Oh, a 1-drop. Just what I wanted for Christmas. Alright. So it looks like we're up against Control Andy. What do we want to play turn 2 against Control Andy? We might be running into a mana drain here. So what do we want to do? I think Unstable Amulet is going to be really powerful. And this... Oh! Oh, I thought it was demonstrating. I didn't actually want to play it. Thankfully, I didn't have the mana. Unstable Amulet's going to be really valuable in this matchup. I don't want to lose it. Let's play our redundant copy of the Ajani over here. Because I doubt against Control Andy, we're just going to be able to slowly Legend Rule them. Okay, sweet. They let it resolve.
It's not perfect, but we have peace.
And I get some energy. Very good. Alright, Control Andy shall brainstorm during my pre-combat main phase. We will see the results soon. Then we get to hit it for 1. Alright, ooh, it might be show and tell. Seeing soul tie colors. We'll see. Ooh, shift and tell. Oh yeah, it's gamer time. Right, I brought in Johnny to school for show and tell. What did you bring? Oh, omniscience.
Nothing is more important than family. There is no world where my quarry can hide.
We can kill that, believe it or not. We have enough energy to discharge it. We have the technology. Oh my god, that's more Atraxas. What the heck? Yeah, you get it with the DT. Alright. Alright, let's think about this matchup. What do we want? What do we want? We are going to want less of this cheap boy removal. We are going to want one less grindy card, and what we are going to want is our sideboard pieces for the matchup, which is specifically this stuff. And we'll run it back. Alright, we get to go first against Show and Tell. Ragavan on the play. Hard to argue with that, right? We could have maybe mulliganed to our sideboard cards, but I also do just love keeping aggressive hands with this deck, because this deck absolutely snowballs. So let's go ahead and get Boros here. Play a Ragavan. Opponent probably does not have interaction, which means we're going to get Ragavan, hit them, get 3 mana, play a Guide of Souls, play in a Johnny, get a bunch of energy next turn. We fly some things, do even more damage. And hopefully we could just get a turn 4 kill on the play, which will hopefully be good enough to beat Show and Tell. If they have it on turn 3, then unfortunately this hand does not beat that. Alright, the Nightmare. Not quite what we're looking for. Let's go ahead and hit them. Planar Genesis, cool. Let's go ahead and get some black mana. Play a Guide of Souls, play in a Johnny.
I will prove my worth to my pride.
Alright, let's see what our opponent's got. They will be Brainstorm Gaming. Alright, now what do we want to do? What we could do, which is kind of interesting, is we could play an Amulet before combat to absolutely max our damage, just to use the energy for Guide of Souls, pumping things. We also do the same thing with the Nightmare. Let's go ahead and do that. We're like absolutely trying to race down here. We want to try to secure the kill next turn. So let's go ahead and do that. There could be a creature under this amulet, I understand. But I am interested in killing. Our opponent, I don't think they got a Fatal Push. Let's go for it. I'm going to go to combat. They're getting priority because of their fetch land, but this doesn't mean they have interaction. We're going to try to put the counters on this. If my opponent decides to Fatal Push this, it means that Johnny flips. Ooh, they're at 10. And then we do not get a spell we can cast from exile for a ping, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little bit more energy into play. Just a little bit more. No creatures in my bin, so I cannot flip a Johnny yet. We can Legend Roll our Ragavans if that's something we want to do to get the last few points of damage next turn. It is something I'm thinking about, so let's not tap that yet. So like, let's say opponent removes 1 or 2 of our creatures and they don't go to 0. We could bring a Johnny back from the graveyard with the Chthonian Nightmare and then also flip him by sacking his token, or just sack the token to flip him to get those last few points. Our opponent could, of course, just have a show and tell here. If they just have their combo, they win, but we did put ourselves in a position to beat them turn 4 on the play, so they needed to have it turn 3 the earliest possible turn. They put away a Fatal Push, interesting. I guess because they know it's not enough. Okay, well, there's a show and tell. I'm gonna put this Ragavan into play. It gives me 1 energy and puts a creature in my graveyard for nightmare purposes. And there's the Omni. Okay, but, uh, we're not dead yet. I got some cool cards, but we are not dead, ladies and gentlemen. We can also draw a card here. Alright, so do we have an Ajani lethal here? Can we deal 7 damage to an Atraxa? I believe the answer is no. No matter how hard we beg. So, let's activate our ability here. Let's dig a little bit deeper, see if we can find something good. Oh, a Thoughtseize. Okay, this is nice. Yeah, I like this. I like this. I think we got lines here. Whoa, there's a lot of stuff here. But, oh, so to assemble the teams. What I need to do is prevent this Atraxa or Omni from hitting play. Actually, the way to do that next turn is take Dark Ritual, because what they could do is they could Dark Ritual, assemble the team, and then find Show and Tell. So we're going to take Dark Ritual here. And we're going to kill this Atraxa in kind of a roundabout way. So how many creatures do we have? I'm trying to figure out if we can kill with Ajani. I think what we're supposed to do here is we hit with this token. See if our opponent blocks it. I hope they do. If they don't, I think we're screwed. They do. They take that free life gain. That's nice. I get to flip my Ajani, and then the Ajani's going to kill him. Right. So they're at 14, which means, you know, they do have a minute here. Okay. Now the question is, do we want to put Lurrus into our hand? Do we want to do 1 Nightmare Loop to, like, switch the Ragavans to gain a little bit more life and energy? I don't think switching the Ragavans matters that much. I think I'd rather have Lurrus. You know, a little tough, though. We didn't get a chance to kill them turn 4 like we wanted to, and I think we need 2 more turns to do it. So they'll start by brainstorming. Makes sense. They could hit, like, Show and Tell land, and they win. What I could have done last turn instead of taking that Ritual is also take the Omni, but they had 2 tutors in hand. I was doubting that. So next turn we need to either find a sideboard card or somehow find a way to kill them. I don't think we have a way to kill them. I also don't think I could have navigated that kill Atraxa turn better. Maybe I was wrong about that, though. Maybe I'm supposed to turn all my creatures sideways. Ooh, Show and Tell on top. Uh-oh, stinky. So we need something to show up. Somebody order a Static Prison? Alright, everyone calm down. Everyone remain calm. What we're going to want to do here is we play our favorite Kitty Cat Lurrus. Get an extra energy. Gonna go to combat. Gonna hit. Funny monkey down, funny monkey down. Counters here. I mean, that was good by them. Funny Monkey was going to take Show and Tell. We will then play Funny Monkey from the graveyard. It will ping for 1. And then we will go ahead and 0 our Ajani. This is not lethal, but this is very close. So now we're just going to have to pray that this Static Prison is enough. Hopefully it is. Alright. Static Prison, I choose you. Get under my prison. So if they don't have a Born Upon the Wind, which I didn't see when I Thoughtseize them, they lose. If they have it, they win. That's tough luck for me. No revolt? Alright, game 3, game 3. Alright. It's go to game 3 in our worst matchup. I think the sideboarding was as good as it's going to get. We could think about fluting. Flute a card. I think it's a little too cute. All right, we are going to be going second. Going second, we can rely a lot less on being able to beat down. This is a pretty decent beatdown hand. Actually, we can't do turn 1 Ragavan because of a tap land. I was going to mulligan this anyway, even without the tap land, because I think we need a sideboard card when we're going second. This is really bad. This flips in a Johnny, but this doesn't do a sideboard card or anything. We're going to do one more. Okay, this is going to have to be good enough, unfortunately. What's cool is we get to go turn 1 cat, turn 2 cat guy, but beyond that, dubious. We have to hope Static Prison hitting Omniscience is enough again. And I hate to hope for that when show and tell decks are generally built to beat that. Alright, let's go to combat with our little kitty cat. We will be connecting. We're going to play this now. We're going to play the Ajani. We're not fetching because there's a chance I want to use this fetch land to get a Surveil land next turn. Bring in an extra cat. It's looking okay. Okay, assemble the team. I thought they were going to do the thing, and we were going to have to figure out whether or not Static Prison was good enough. Wait, oh, sideboard card! We did it! We did it, Reddit! We found a sideboard card. We saved the city, Patrick. Alright, let's go ahead and sequence this thing first. And then... let me think about my fetching. Let's go ahead and get our other land colors so that we have 2 of everything. Get Rakdos here. We're going to sequence Unstable Amulet first because this says we can't cast another non-creature spell after it. Alright, and pass the turn. We'll use this energy to draw a card, but we don't need to give our opponent the information on what card it is. Not yet. Alright, can our opponent beat Deafening Silence and Static Prison? Let's find out. Nothing relevant in the graveyard for Shift, by the way, but they are at 3 out of 4 Delirium types. Alright, buddy. Well, you don't get to cast more spells, and I have a Static Prison, so I'll take it. I will be taking that Omniscience with me, thank you. I think it's worth it to draw a card. The game is not going to last more than 2 turns. Ooh, a Thoughtseize, you say? Well, the game is over with this Bowmaster's draw. We could flip our own Ajani here. Sweet, alright. We beat our worst matchup. That's 3-0 on the video, and we're at about an hour runtime, so that makes me look good. Haha. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope everybody enjoyed this spiky content on the Tryhard deck. I'll post this every so often. I didn't want to keep posting the same deck over and over and over again, even though I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I have so much fun playing this deck every time, and it's the one I play whenever I'm not recording. Alright, well, thanks for watching, folks.